Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This tutorial is going to be part 3 for the Loved Up by Granny Stitch series, and it's going to be pillow and the blanket. Super easy. In the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work the pattern, and I tell you that the pattern is a chain multiple of 4, 4, 4, any number of 4 plus 6. Now, the reason why I needed to make something as large as this blanket, which is 45 inches wide by 60 inches long, is because I decided to destash my yarn stash. And I had 5 cakes of Karen latte cake, and I thought, I have got to get rid of this, and I need to use something, a fast stitch. And I thought, well, there's the granny stitch, but everybody does the granny square, and I didn't want to just do a granny square. I wanted to do something different, so I decided to do the granny stitch from the bottom up. So that's why it's Loved Up by Granny Stitch. So you can see on the pillow, the granny stitch is worked from the bottom to the top, right? Where most of the time it's in a square, but or corner. Anyway. So let's talk about what you're going to need for the blanket and the pillow. So for the pillow, you're going to need one cake of Karen latte cake, or any 4 weight you want. You do not have to use a Karen latte cake, okay? But I used 1 skein of this Karen latte cake, and it is in the color plum. And I used a 6mm hook. Same for the blanket, both use the 6mm hook. And I used a 16 by 16 inch pillow insert for the pillow. And then, you know, your normal things, your scissors, your stitch marker, or well, you may need a stitch marker. I didn't use one, but you may need a stitch marker and a needle to weave in your ends. And that is pretty much it. Now for the blanket, I actually used up 3 cake. No, it wasn't 3. Was it? Yeah, pretty much 3 full cakes of that Karen latte cake. You by no means have to use use 3 cakes, because like I said, that's why mine is so big, is because I needed to get rid of this yarn. So you'd be just fine with 2, and then chain a length that's maybe, let me think, let's 130 some. That way it's not as quite as big as mine, but that's all you guys are going to need for the pillow and the baby blanket, okay? So let me see, is there anything else? It's a 2-row repeat for the pattern, so it's super, super easy. And this is one of those patterns that you can just, I literally was crocheting and watching TV at the same time. Meaning, like, I wasn't watching my hands. My muscle repetition is so, the muscle memory is so right and on point after you work this so many times that you don't even have to look at your work anymore. All right, so get your supplies together and let's get started on this. Okay, so to get started on our baby blanket and pillow set, like I said, I'm just going to do a little swatch right here, but if you guys are using the 16 by 16 inch pillow insert, I chained with my tension and my 6mm hook, I chained 54. But for my big old blanket, it was huge, I chained 166. Stitch multiple again is 4 by 6, so you guys can make 4 by 6, I'm sorry, multiples of 4, 4, 4, then add 6. You guys can make your baby blanket as big as you want. Like I said, the reason mine's so big is because I had so much of this yarn and I'm trying to get rid of it. So okay, so like I said, for the pillow I chained 54, and for my blanket I chained 166, and then follow this pattern. And then once we get, work this pattern with you guys, then we are going to finish up the pillow, and then we're going to be done. All right, so any multiple of 4, 4, 4, 4 plus 6. So one more time, for the pillow I chained 54, for the blanket 166. So I'm going to work a little chain, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I worked myself a chain of 18, so I did 4, 4, 4 plus 6. And to get started, we are going to work, and just one more time, the pattern for the pillow and the blanket panel, the blanket and the pillow panel is the exact same thing that what we're going to do right now. So we're going to work 3 double crochet into the 6th chain from our hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right there is 6. So we're going to work 3 double crochet into there. 1, 2, 3. So that those 5 chains we skipped is going to count as a double and a chain 1. All right, so we're going to chain 1, skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. Into the next 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. And that's what we're going to repeat. Chain 1, skip 3, 3 double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 3, 3 double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 3, 3 double crochet into the next. Repeat that all the way across your chain. And then you're going to stop when you get to the last 4 chains. Okay, so 3 double, chain 1, skip 3, 3 double, chain 1, skip 3, all the way across until you get to the last 4 chains. And you're going to end with, after your last granny shell, chain 1, and then we're going to skip 3 and double crochet into that very last chain. Just like that. So we have the 5 chains right here, which counts as a double and a chain 1. And then we have your granny shell, chain 1, skip 3, granny shell, chain 1, skip 3, granny shell, chain 1, skip 3, all the way across to your last 4 chains. After that last shell, you're going to chain 1, skip 3, double crochet into the last, lay down buddy, into the last chain. So that's your row 1, okay? So to move on to row 2, we're going to chain 1, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to double crochet right back into that very first double crochet. Double right into the top of that. And now into that chain 1 space, we're going to work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And now we're going to chain 1, granny shell into the chain 1 space, which I'm just going to say 3 double crochet. I don't want to get anyone confused. 3 double crochet. Churchy, quit licking. And that's what you're going to repeat across your work. Chain 1, 3 double into the chain 1 space. Chain 1, 3 double into the chain 1 space, all the way across until you get to the end. So what you have is you see your last 3 double crochet, and then you have your chains that we skipped, right? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to work, Georgie, you can't be on me right now, Bubby. I know. Go lay down, okay? Just lay down right here by Mom. That's a good boy. All right. So what we're going to do is work 2 double crochet into that chain space. So right into the space between the chain and the first, or I'm sorry, the last 3 double crochet in that chain. Right into that hole, we're going to work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And then we're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain up, which using this yarn I realize is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I can see the back hump right here, and right there. So I'm going to double crochet into the top of that 3rd chain. And if you can't see it, just double crochet into the chain somewhere. It's not a big deal. All right, so that is row 2. So row 3, turn my page here. Row 3, we are going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to double crochet into the top of that very first double crochet. Chain 1, and then just start your working your 3 double crochet. Stop licking my finger. chain 1, 3 double crochet into the chain 1 space. Chain 1, jump to that next chain 1 space. Chain 1, jump to that next chain 1 space, and that's what you're going to repeat all the way across for row 3, okay? And then when you get to your last chain 1 space, work your 3 double, chain 1, and then all you're going to do is double crochet into that last double, which you're going to have to turn your work just a tad, and you can see the top of it right there. Right there. All right, so row 3 is the first row of our 2-row repeat, okay? So row 4 is the second row. So we're going to repeat 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. So for row 4, we're going to chain 1 and turn, double crochet into that very first double, and then 2 doubles into that chain 1 space. And then chain 1, 3 double into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, 3 doubles into the next chain 1 space. And that's what you're going to repeat all the way across for row 4. Chain 1, 3 double in the chain 1 space. Chain 1, 3 double in the next chain 1 space. Work that all the way across until you get to the end. For your last chain 1 space, make sure you did the chain 1 after that last 3 double. Into the last chain 1 space, we're going to work 2 double crochet and 1 into the last double crochet. And that is row 4. So that's what you're going to repeat for the length of whatever you're working. You're working your pillow insert or your pillow panel or your baby blanket. You just repeat row 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. And the only difference is how the rows begin and end. So like row 4 that we just did, the first double is into the first double crochet, and then to finish off your granny 3 double crochets, you work 2 into the first chain 1 space. And then you work the granny stitch, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, all the way across, and you finish it exactly the way you ended it. 2 double into the last chain 1 space, double into that last double crochet, chain 1, turn. Row 3, double into the very first double crochet, chain 1, jump to that next chain 1 space, 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, all the way across, and you end with 3 double crochet into your last chain 1 space, chain 1, double into the last double, and you repeat 3 and 4 over and over and over and over again. And once you get your baby blanket done, I didn't end on any specific row. I worked until I was out of yarn, and I was happy with the length, and I said that's it. So I chained 1, pull up a loop, cut, weave in your end, you're done. And I did the exact same thing with the pillow, although I didn't just go all willy-nilly with my length. I actually went with as long as I needed. Ooh, about knocked that over. So what I did was I worked my panel until I could lay my pillow down, bring the one end to the seam, and I don't want it exactly on the seam, but I want it to have a little bit of give. And I worked my panel until I could bring my panel around my pillow and the ends touch. Okay, so that's all I did for this pillowcase. And what we're gonna do, I honestly haven't figured out or thought about how I'm gonna close the pillow up. I think I'm just going to slip stitch it shut. And what I'm gonna do is, it doesn't matter how you have your panel. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump that. And go ahead and take this pillow out. It doesn't matter how you have your panel laying, stitch wise. I'm just gonna fold it in half, and I'm gonna start at the folded seam and slip stitch up, make my turn, slip stitch it closed across the top, and then I'm gonna stop, flip it inside out, insert my pillow, slip stitch it shut. All right, so I'm gonna make sure first of all it's nice and flat folded, so making sure my ends come, this end comes together nice and evenly. just like that. All right, so I'm going to start at this fold right here, and I'm going to pinch it and get my yarn, slip knot on my hook, and as always, make sure you have enough tail to weave in. And I'm just going to start with that pinch and just slip stitch where I can get my hook. You know what? I'm going to stop. I don't want to use that 5mm. I want to go up to a 6mm because I don't want my slip stitches to be too tight. All right. Get as close to that fold as I can get. There we go. And that's all I'm going to do is just go where I can get my hook, and I'm not going to stretch it too far, and I don't want to bunch up a bunch of slip stitches too close together, but I'm just going to evenly space them out. And then I'm going to work so far, and then I'm going to stop and lay it down. And if it bunches up like this, you got way too much space between. So pull out your slip stitches, lay it back out nice and neat, and work them to where they're nice and, you know, nice and even. And if it bunches like that again, you may have too many slip stitches. So you just pull it out until you can work the slip stitches and it lays nice and pretty, okay? So I'm going to work that up this side, and I'm going to come back when we get to this first corner, okay? I'm going to be right back. Okay, so I'm coming up to that first corner, and as you can see, I've slip stitched all the way up this side, and you notice how it's not bunching up or it's not overworked. It's a nice flat panel, and that's what we're going for, okay? So I'm coming to this first corner, which is that beginning chain that we skipped and my last stitch. So what I have no idea what I'm working into. If I'm working around or through, I have no idea. I'm just going where my hook fits. And once I can tell that I'm in the corner as far as I can get, I'm going to work a slip stitch. Uh-oh, I'm stuck on something. There. And I'm going to chain 2 and go right back into where I was. That last slip stitch that I worked before the chain 2. Right back in there, and then I'm going to rotate. And now we have got the top of double crochets on one panel, which I think you can see. And then we got the remaining loops of our chain. I am just going to focus on the double crochets and the chains at the top. And I'm going to try to, the best I can, just work through each of those doubles and chains. All right. I'm not even on camera. And if you don't want to work into the chain, just work around it. All right, so I'm going to get across this top done. And I will be right back. Ow. All right, so I've made it across the top of my work here, and I'm coming to this first corner. And I'm going to go as far as I can into this corner. I'm just going to go through the space. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to go right back in there again. And I'm going to stop. I'm just going to go ahead and chain 1. Pull up a loop. And now I'm going to turn this inside out. Poke these corners out with my fingers. Get them nice and poked through. Oop, not my finger. There, right there. Nice and poked through. And now I'm going to insert my pillow. Jeez, I'm sorry. I knocked a thing down. I'm sorry. I know. You guys are probably like, holy cow. I'm sorry. That was really loud. All right, so I'm going to insert my pillow, and I'm going to make sure that the labels go towards the seam, not the open hole. But I'm just going to insert my pillow. So basically what I'm doing now is just getting it wormed in there. Very pretty. Very nice. Okay. So now I'm going to kind of tuck in those corners a bit. I'm going to bring my two ends together. Shake that pillow around. All right. Now, all I'm going to do is continue slip stitching down the side. I'm going to get started with you guys, and then I'm going to finish it off camera because this is probably the hardest part of the pillow, is trying to slip stitch on camera while you're pinching a pillow shut. All right, so bring it this way. All right, so I'm going to just fold it closed and just start slip stitching. Just like that. All right, so I'm going to slip stitch this closed and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. I got about a finger width to get done. So I'm going to slip stitch this shut. I'm going to go as far as I can on that pinched fold. I'm going to go one more time just to be secure. Chain one, pull up a loop, and cut. And we're done. So now I'm gonna weave in my end, and I'm I don't know where my needle is. There we go. I'm actually just gonna run it through some of the double crochet. Dang it. Come on now. Okay. I'm just going to run it down through these doubles. Oh. Not like that. There. Just down through here. And then cut that. And there we go. Now I'm gonna get my pillow all wormed back out because I folded it a bunch to get it to to fit. But there is our pillow. All right, guys. Well, I was gonna lay my blanket next to it, but I don't remember where. I set it over here. So that is it. Ugh. I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. Well, all three of them actually. Like I said at the beginning of this whole series, the reason I did this was because I had a bunch of this latte, Karen latte cakes, and I thought I have got to use this up. And granny stitches was the best. And I thought, well, I don't want to just do your normal, granny square. Everybody does that. I want to do something different. So for this project, I decided to do the granny from the bottom up. And that's why I named this series the Loved Up by the Granny Stitch. Okay. All right, guys. I'm done. We are done. I'm going to get out of here. As always, you guys are the greatest. I love you all. Thank you so very, very much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe so you never miss what's next from me. Or, well, if you need to hit the notification bell and then click that you want to get notified for all of my posts. And check out the description box. I got links to part 1 and part 2. And there's links to my Facebook group. There's links to Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media you want to follow. I try to be on them. And if you make this set or make anything from this set, tag me in it, post it on the Facebook group, and let me see. Because I love seeing what you guys make that I worked so hard designing just to show you guys, That makes me super happy. And that is it from me for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.